It's funny, isn't it? The analogy of what your pizza experience. Perfect segue and perfect analogy, which can be likened to Ahsoka episode 6. Actually, I think episode 5. Sorry, actually, it's member berries and people like it, and that seems to be why episode 5 is being reviewed so well. Basically, because a lot of people have, been sort of succumbing down to all of the sort of member berries of it all.
Yeah, 100%. I could not agree more.
So it's not the best, but it's nostalgia. That's what you said. It's not the best, but it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
So why are you not hit with the nostalgia for Ahsoka?
Well, I was not a prequel fan, so I wasn't struck by the nostalgia bug on this episode. I thought the prequels were not very good Star Wars films. Now I appreciate them much more today than I did back when they came out. I still think Revenge of the Sith is by far the best one out of all three. But there was so much stuff in that just did not add up to the original trilogy movies that I still have issues with today. So yeah, for me on this episode, it just didn't hit like it probably did for a lot of the prequel fans that grew up on those movies.
I don't think, right. Well, Coach will be annoyed if we don't roll this, by the way. Because Culture worked hard on these, and I did just forget, and I'm so sorry. I'm getting there with it.
It's fine. I thought we were just going to hear Nick's perspective before we did a proper breakdown of it.
Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, well, we also got Tom in the backstage. I don't know if we'll bring Tom on anyway, just because good to have you here. I know you probably didn't watch Ahsoka, but we'll have you here for when we shuffle on. How's that?
I'm not into self-mutilation.
Oh boy.
Dear, oh dear. Yeah, it's all good, man. I just didn't want you to be sat in the back wondering. So I think that's the perfect analogy, though, isn't it, Nick? Nostalgia. Yeah. It's not the best, but it's nostalgia, and people are seemingly lapping it up. Now, look, I don't think it's necessarily fans of the prequels that lap it up. I think it maybe it is. I don't know. I don't assume to speak for people, but a lot of people are sort of wowed with the subtext in this episode, because they're like, well, she was broken and she was always fighting, and now she's learned to sort of mellow out, and now she's literally, it's the Gandalf the White bloody scenario. She dies essentially, and she comes back, and now she's wearing all white, and it's like, really, can you just stop borrowing everything from everything else?
Better stuff.
I just thought as well, like, nothing happened, and loads of people are like, yeah, it did. No, it didn't. If you're talking about pursuing the story itself, this was the longest episode yet, and the story actually only moved forward in the last 5 minutes, where they stared at some whales and then got in their mouth.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, and again, I mean, what is the audience left thinking about the engagement between Anakin and Ahsoka, aside from, holy cow, practice longer before you put a choreographed fight scene on screen, because oh my god, it was so slow. I mean, I'm like, every single thing was so unpolished and I'm like, how do you make a lightsaber fight uninteresting and boring?
Well, like the sounds, they did okay on the sounds. I think that's something. I know it's a weird thing to say, because earlier in these episodes, the lightsaber sounds didn't sound correct, but they have changed the sounds for this one. Or maybe I'm wrong. Did you get that, Nick, or am I wrong with that?
I mean, it's
better.
Yeah, it sounded fine to me from that aspect of it. I didn't have an issue.
The sounds were
but before, the sound, especially when Sabine and the little poodle dog lady were fighting each other, that the sounds from them was just I was like, it sounds off, but it didn't sound off when it was Anakin and Ahsoka fighting here.
You guys are reaching to find things to compliment.
No, not at all. I'm saying, like, that's the only thing which was like
maybe it sounded better because they were so slow. You could hear each of the sound individually.
or maybe because they hung a lantern on it in the episode by going, "Don't you hear the lightsabers, Mom? I can hear it from beyond the Force," or some nonsense like that. It was very strange.
Yeah, so I guess she can use the Force and hear stuff, because if this was happening in a physical sense, then he wouldn't need the Force to sit there and hear it, which then means, why didn't Pootie Tang droid hear it when he was sitting there?
Oh no, like it was happening
in
a Force realm. Were they actually in the world between worlds at that point? I guess.
Yeah, they didn't say if they were in the world between worlds. It sort of looked like the world between worlds, but they never said that's what it was, and we never saw any portals or any owls flying around or any of that. But basically we just got freaking Ebenezer Scrooge Ahsoka and freaking Hayden Christensen, the ghost of Christmas past.
It is, it is literally.
I have a question about that. Could it have been a dream sequence?
No, because otherwise, how would they have heard it? How would they have heard it?
Isn't this quite the third time that Ahsoka's died? Because to my knowledge, most species can't hold their breath for 6 to 10 hours at a time.
But so she can't have. So to answer Andre's question, right? It can't have been a dream sequence, because otherwise, how would Jason and Syndulla hear the lightsabers?
That is a good question.
Yeah, it doesn't. And the thing is, like,
Anakin is the Force.
Yeah, I've gotten so many explanations from people in the comment section of our review video for this. Nobody else seems to know either, because I've gotten like 5 or 6 different theories of what actually happened, and it's all over the place because they never actually explain it or tell you anything in the episode. They don't let you know what's happening or what's going on. Are they in the world between worlds? Is this a dream sequence? Was she dead? I guess you could make an argument for it, because Anakin's like, you lost a fight, and then she's like, I don't remember. Oh, trust me, you lost. Was that really Anakin? Or was that a figment of her imagination? Who knows? They give no explanation, and by the time it's all over and done with, you're just left there with some nostalgia bait, and not really anything changes. Oh, she's not depressed now? I didn't know she was depressed in the first place. There was never any conversation about her being depressed or anything like that. And then they
didn't even go with her like questioning her training, considering her leader was, one of the biggest murderers in history.
I guess not really. They did and they didn't. So they had to go, was this all I'm being trained for? But it wasn't. It was like a half-fledged thought. Basically, it was a very ill-conceived notion. Like, it was like, oh yeah, this is I'm sort of questioning it, but I'm sort of not, and I'm now like not fighting you, so I win. Ha 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 ha. Like,
because that kind of would explain partially why she's been in exile for a while. She's been ashamed, all that kind of shit. Doesn't trust her instincts or.
Well, she shouldn't. She's trained in Sabine. It's got no force power at all.
Well, not just that. She was trained by Anakin fucking Skywalker, right? Like, that'd be like being, Charlie Chan or Charlie Chaplin or whatever you want to call him. That guy with the mustache. That'd be like his assistant.
Though, to be fair, though, at the time, this would have been like between episodes 2 and 3, right? So it's not like he would have been a Jedi Master himself. He was still a Padawan at the time, wasn't he? Or am I completely wrong here or something? I need to hear from someone who knows.
Ahsoka is set in the future.
Yeah, I know that, but basically when they met, right?
Yeah.
Formally was her Padawan, from my understanding.
Yeah.
Filoni's fan fiction was set between episodes 2 and 3. So surely Anakin would still have been a Padawan himself at the time when he was training Ahsoka. What kind of training could he give when he wasn't fully trained himself?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that.
I didn't watch all the Clone Wars, so I don't know when.
I thought you did.
No, I watched all Rebels, but I did not see all Clone Wars. Coach has seen all of Clone Wars. He's watched it all the way through twice, so he knows it better than I do. I've seen, the good episodes of season 7, and I've seen all of season 1.
See, but that's what everybody keeps saying is like, you clearly aren't a fan because you didn't watch these shows, so you won't understand. That's what I see everybody saying. That anyone did. Like it.
Who the fuck cares? That's the point, isn't it? Right?
Well, Filoni said you didn't have to watch them anyways.
Well, exactly.
Well, he'll lie, obviously.
Yeah.
Or more likely, he is so attached to it. He knows this stuff so well because it's his fan fiction. So he's not capable of writing or telling the story from the mindset of someone who really genuinely hasn't seen any of this ugly looking animated stuff, any of it at all.
Yeah,
and I think this is where he failed. That he just, everyone must have seen this, or even if he thinks, okay, fine, I'll write it so it's accessible to everyone. He's not capable of doing it because he is the creator of this fan fiction, which is what I consider it to be.
He couldn't even keep his fiction on the Darksaber right from
that's what I mean. Like, if he had someone like a Jon Favreau there who could be like, okay, fine, like, tell me what we need to know, and I'll find some way to communicate this that actually is accessible.
That's supposedly what happened in Mandalorian, Andre, and they still got it wrong.
Yeah, and then they definitely got it wrong here. And all I will say that there was nothing. There weren't, like, I didn't certainly in the first 2 seasons I didn't really feel that much left out of the Mandalorian. Yeah, there were like some,
but there's nothing there that's really attached to anything previously either.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So it kind of worked. Whereas this thing right here, I've seen every episode and I feel lost. I feel like I don't know who these people are.
I got friends that feel the same
on.
Yeah.
I feel like this is season 5 of something, and I haven't seen the first 4 seasons.
Oh, you're not wrong, to be fair.
I was gonna say, so it kind of sounds like it is. And that's the thing is, you had Favreau along the ride for Mandalorian to where he was controlling the ship. I mean, the whole first episode is kind of just building up this Mandalorian as a mythological character here. And then at the end, it's like, oh, there's this baby. And then, you get to the next part of the story. Like, I can even tell you the first few episodes and the last few episodes of the second season and such like that, because they do actually they feel like a story, right? We're building characters. We're building a world here. Even though we already know the world, we're still building his world and how it works. And throughout those first 2 seasons, it actually feels like a show. When you get to that Boba Fett shit in the 3rd season, and now this shit, this is all Filoni, right? Like at this point, there is no Jon Favreau in here, as far as I know, at all.
Nope.
And it sounds like it's nothing but a live action cartoon.
Pretty much.
Yeah, which will please, I'm sure will please, clearly pleases a lot of people.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of plot holes. Like there's someone in the chat now going, it was peak Star Wars. How?
No, fucking Star Wars was peak fucking Star Wars. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of this shit.
Yeah, the original trilogy was peak Star Wars. This is the best thing we've ever got on a Star. No, there's 3 fucking movies. The rest is fucking practically fan fiction outside of the prequels. Yeah,
let's be real.
No, you're not wrong. But I mean, just to break it down on a level which can't be disputed anyway, because people will just dispute that regardless. Who the hell made this stupid key map? If no one knows where they are, who made it? And we've seen the internals of it. It was clearly fabricated from some pretty intense, interlocking mechanism. It looked like it belonged in Indiana Jones, quite frankly. Now we've seen the inside.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a massive glaring plot hole in and unto itself.
I have another
why was it set in a massive tomb? Like, who made this stuff?
What? When did they put it there? And to what purpose?
Yeah.
And how did they ensure that Thrawn wouldn't move an inch from where the map was said he was supposed to be? Like, is he locked up in a dungeon or something? You have the exact same thing with the others. You've had maps to find as if there's some kind of like buried secret treasure.
Yeah.
I mean, these are
Just
individuals,
everywhere.
and they're quite resourceful individuals. They can literally traverse the entire freaking galaxy, and now they can hitch a ride in a whale and go beyond it. So who is to say that they are required by law to stay at this exact location where the map says they are, on the chance that someone is going to go on an Indiana Jones quest to find the map?
Well, that is also true. Is now that they're going to come through the other side into the other galaxy, and presumably Thrawn's just been sat there the entire time, just twiddling his thumbs.
So now we're going to get into multiverse stuff, or what?
No, I don't know.
No.
Not multiverse.
No. Just beyond the galaxy, just the galaxy next to it, kind of like
We're already in a galaxy far away. How much farther do you need to be?
Well, that's the whole story. That is the story, Tom. That's what you've been missing.
I know.
Okay,
I'm just fucking with you
now.
now.
You have the galaxy far away, right? Long time ago. Well, now they're going to the galaxy next to it.
We already got this story. It was called The Force Awakens. Just check the R2 unit in the corner under a blanket. He's got the rest.
It's memory or something.
Well, no, because Ahsoka can just dream sequence up Force memories now. This is a new power that she's got. For goodness sake.
Yeah. Apparently there were some other EU characters, or maybe a character in Clone Wars that had this. But the thing is, nobody who watches the movies has ever seen this Force ability. And seeing it in live action, it's just weird. It doesn't feel like Star Wars Force.
Can you imagine, like, you could, if you were a pervert, you could do some really gross stuff with that power, couldn't you? You could like creep into someone's bedroom and be like, "Hey, I know who you were. You jumped some bones last night." Like, fuck it up, honestly.
Yeah, she just touches object, knows everything. But Thrawn, this is an ancient map in an ancient tomb thousands of years ago that was there, and Thrawn was just literally like jettisoned out into space from these whales just like 30 years previous from this point or so, 20 or 30, somewhere around there. And so it's just how would anybody know that he was where he was going? Because the only people that know where he is are in that other galaxy. Who was able to come back to this galaxy and be like, I know where he's at. This is the location. Here's the secret map. Why would you need a secret map anyway?
They have to be
somebody
freaking resourceful to like build the entire Indiana Jones tombs and temple around his location
on a desolate planet.
Yeah,
that's what they've done. Like,
I mean,
the thing is, like, no, you raise that as a plot hole. Everyone just goes, "Don't worry about it." It's like, but that's a massive plot hole, and everyone just goes, "No, it's fine. Don't worry about it." Like, you just talk about other stuff. Like, no. Like, if that's how bad the writing is on this, why are you overlooking it? Like, it's not good writing. And this whole jumping in whales nonsense.
The funniest part of the whole episode, guys. The funniest part that was so I literally laughed when this happened. She's sitting there. Ahsoka's using the Force to communicate with the space whale. And, is like, he opens his mouth and she's like, fly inside, yelling through glass, that's designed to go through space. I don't know how he could have hurt her, but whatever, we'll ignore that. So then she gets back inside and they're in there and she's like, or the Pootie Tang droid is like, so they're going to take us where Thrawn is. I don't know. Huh? What do you mean you don't know? Like, we're getting in this thing's mouth, about to go off into no man's land. You don't even know if we're going in the right place. Why are we doing this? And then 2 minutes later, she promises Hera that she's gonna find Ezra and stuff. How can you promise her that when you just got done telling Pootie Tang droid that you don't even know if where they're taking you is even where they're at, or if they're even taking you to the right place?
I'm so confused.
Mythologically speaking, I mentioned this the other day, but Hera is actually the goddess of cleansing by fire.
Yeah.
Party.
burn it all.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So should we give this an episode review out of 10? Everyone that's seen it.
I gave it a 6.
Wow.
A 6. I like
Why?
I like the visuals. I like the music. I can appreciate the scenes, even though they felt empty and soulless. You know, it was cool to see clones and stuff. But Ahsoka at this point knows that basically becomes the Empire, and she's sitting there like all sad, you know, about the clone troopers done. They end up becoming stormtroopers and turning on all the Jedi. So why would you even care anymore, anyways? If they died, you know, at this point you should have been like, God, I hope they all die. Why am I fighting the separatists? You know, we should be taking out the clones.
Yeah.
So
I always thought that was a problem with like Commander Cody and all those guys and didn't they create like this offshoot like group of clones that refuse to turn to the dark side or some stupid shit like that?
The Bad Batch.
Yeah, fuck that noise. That does not. That is not how the fucking Force works. I'm sorry. They're goddamn clones. They're programmed when they get here. Order 66. That means kill every fucking Jedi. Then if they're so good, then why didn't they warn the fucking Jedi to begin with?
Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, there were aspects of the episode that I liked, but overall, I just thought it was empty and soulless. And the big thing that everybody's like creaming themselves over with the Anakin, it was pointless. What was the point of it?
Well, what it was to get everyone speculating that they're going to bin off the sequel trilogy. They're going to retcon it all.
Ain't gonna happen.
Trust me, bro.
This was supposed to be the big time it happened.
Real.
You know how I know it ain't gonna happen? I'm almost 100% positive now it ain't gonna happen.
Of course it's not gonna happen.
No, I mean I was 99.9% sure before.
I was always 100%.
But Pablo Hidalgo posted yesterday about it, and then he had to delete his tweet.
Twitter. Yeah.
So you know damn well he's fucking with people. They ain't doing shit.
He's like, oh, here's where we retcon the sequels, guys. Like, LOL.
You know what, though? That shows that people like Doomcock and shit are getting into his fucking head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yes and no, because he's mocking. He's
mocking them, but the fact that he took the time to fucking mock them and then was told to delete the tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So out of 10, I mean, you gave it a 6. What would I give it? Probably a 5. Culture, you shaking your head. What would you give it?
3.
Wow.
Let me tell you, they saved a lot of money on slow motion effects by just having them slow down when they were using their lightsabers.
There was a lot of slow moments in this episode again too. A lot of like looking and slow panning. Like
most of the episode, and this is my experience now with all of the latest Disney Star Wars stuff, is somebody do something. Somebody fucking do something. Stop standing there.
Well, I was wondering how long it would take Ahsoka to fold her arms in this episode, and it didn't take long, did it?
It was in the first 3 minutes. I think
straight away.
Some of my people, some of my people are coming at me for my criticism of that, but I'm like, they're like, well, you didn't watch this and that because she crosses her arms and that too. I'm like, great.
Okay, it doesn't translate well. It looks stupid.
Yeah, this is live action, right? And have all the ladies crossing their arms. One of the reasons that they do that in animation is to save from drawing shit.
Yeah.
They don't have to animate the arms and the fingers. They just redo this. There's very little they have to do. That's why it's cheap animation. That's even cheap it takes less motions in computer animation. You're not moving around a rigged character and trying to make them have fluid action. So it's fucking lazy is what it is.
Whoa. Culture cursed.
I know. I'm upset. This thing is dumb.
So you gave it a 3. Andre, what are you giving this out of 10?
I'll give it 4 out of 10. And the previous one with Ray Stevenson, which was the highlight of the series, that was a 5 out of 10. Where Ray Stevenson is amazing, but just because something is amazing doesn't mean that something else doesn't suck.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, true.
when he is the highlight of the series, he cannot save it.
Yeah,
And in
yeah.
these episodes, yeah, I did like seeing Hayden Christensen again. I did like the flashbacks, but at the same time, I was like, this is what they should have done the whole time. I mean, if
Yeah.
they had been skilled people, they could have used those flashbacks to get us all up to speed. We could have seen a flashback to when to exactly how Ahsoka became Anakin's Padawan to begin with. We could have seen them falling out. We could have seen all of this stuff in flashbacks. All of the stuff that we needed to know should have been told to us in some very strategic flashbacks. And then those would have been the canon events, whereas Filoni's fan fiction would have been the animated interpretation of the canon events, the way that it should be.
Can't argue with any of
I'm still stuck with how we all have to do the homework of these ugly ass animated series. So to me, it was like, just why couldn't you have done this the whole time? Why couldn't you have used flashbacks like these from the very first episode to get us back to speed, up to speed? There's no shame in it. Plenty movies do that, where you rely on the flashback to tell the story kind of as you go gradually, right? This series could have done exactly the same thing. By the end of the series, we should have been caught up with everything of importance that the people that follow the animated series knows, certainly everything that we do, so that we would be able to enjoy this thing here without having seen anything other than the live action stuff. I'm happy with all the movies being homework. I'm happy with The Mandalorian being homework. I'm even happy with Boba Fett, and if need be, Andor being homework for this series. I'm not happy with a single animated thing being homework. That will not fly.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, we still get the origin stories to this day of Spider-Man and Batman every time they come out with something. You know, it would literally not be anything for just them to have either a couple lines of dialogue or a quick flashback to tell the audience what's going on, or to show some sort of significance of what's happening.
You want to see the
because
fans
of something in the
fap
past.
all over themselves. Andre was right. If you just showed flashbacks of scenes from Rebels and Clone Wars in live action, the fans would have went, oh my God. So like,
everyone over.
Yeah, it's just redonkulous at the end of the day. I get bored listening to you guys fucking talk about this shit. Like, I'm really checking out of it. Like, I'm just so tired of it. Ahsoka is such like 12th level fan fiction fucking fap all over it bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
3 more weeks, Tom. 3 more weeks on Thursdays. You can just show up.
She is
like
the
30
epitome of
late.
Mary fucking Sue. That might as well be her fucking name.
Oh yeah, she beat Anakin in the World Between Worlds.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no. She disarms him and takes his saber and then chooses not to kill him. I'm like, God, Anakin just got beat by Ahsoka. Like,
to be fair, he wanted her to beat him, though. This was her test.
Yeah.
I mean,
this shit's testing me.
We can try to comfort ourselves with that, at least.
On that note, on Tom's ranty note, let's shuffle out.
No offense to those who enjoy it, but this is just the lowest level shit, man. I'm sorry.